Laurie Huston's News for the Heart is dedicated to helping you give a voice to your own soul. Our hearts have the power to free us from pain and the struggles that keep us from awakening to our true essence. Join Laurie now as we delve into our heart and soul to find the path that will open us to the possibilities and lead us to the life we love to live.
And good afternoon. This is News for the Heart. And well, can't believe it's already December and we're, at the end of the year. 12/12. It's got to be a good day.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't realize it was 12/12. All right.
It is. And of course, we have our awesome co-host, Tracy McBurney, today. And well, this should be a very interesting show. Beliefs, truths. It should be interesting.
Facts.
Facts. Well, yeah. Our facts, truths, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're stepping in today with something that none of what I'm investigating right now is completed anything. I'm inspired by certain things, and I thought, well, why not bring them forward into this conversation today? So really, it's kind of like there's no end to this. There's no completion to this. There's nothing. I'm just right in it. I'm right into the cloud of all of it. But really kind of happy to be in that cloud because it's giving my brain some exercise. My brain is getting exercise. My brain is kind of like, yes, let's go here. Let's put these together. So it started with a talk that was a David Martin talk, that is connected to the Mercola site. So it's connected to a December the 9th talk, 2023. So it's very recent. And if you didn't see it on that day, if it didn't come through your portal, then you're only going to be able to get it through paying the money to get into his back library now. But it's a December the 9th, 2023 talk. And he was speaking about some things that I really didn't know anything about. And I like to listen to anything that David Martin has to say about anything. And he has been my guy to learn about all the patents connected to these vaccinations and all of this stuff. And he just knows a ton of information that I just have to say are facts. They're written down. They're patent applications. I like that. My dad was in patents and trademarks and copyrights for years. So I know they're specific. They're detailed. They're anal. They're all those things. So I was listening to his talk and he started in the first 3 minutes of the talk to say something that he made everybody in the audience laugh. And I chuckled. And it was this statement: a fact can't overwhelm a belief. And I sat there with that. A fact can't overwhelm a belief. Beliefs are that strong that you can hand somebody, you can deliver somebody just unbelievably well-researched facts. This fact, this fact, this fact, this, and it's still falling on deaf ears because this person has a belief that is this strong and this anchored. And whether it's their belief or whether it's a belief from their family or belief from it is that strong and that anchored. So it doesn't matter how many facts you throw at them and how many proven facts you throw at them. They're not changing 1 inch. They're not budging 1 inch on what it is that they're believing and what it is that they're anchored into. And I thought, Mm-hmm. And there were many, I didn't have time to think about any of that then because I was too busy writing notes for the next hour and a half of this lecture before it was going to disappear. But I thought about it afterwards. I really thought about, how many facts have I negated? Because that's the other thing that we've learned and that I've learned about the brain is once we decide something, that's belief, once we decide something. It's like a staff in the ground. We've decided that this is the way something is. The staff goes in the ground. I am the Zeus. I am the God. The staff goes in the ground and then ripples out to the universe. This is the decision that has been made about me, about life, about whatever. And then what happens for the brain is we make those decisions and the brain kind of goes, okay, aye, Captain, and it starts to close off the filtering system. The senses are no longer picking up stuff that is not in alignment with that decision, that is not in alignment with where that person is in time and space. It just negates it. It's like the eyes don't see it, the ears don't hear it, the person doesn't reach out for that particular job or whatever it is, because we're seeing things in a certain way. And we're filtering in information into the brain and into our skin and into our beingness a certain way, because of what we've decided and because of what we believe. And so I kind of sat with that. I sat, and I do that quite a lot. It's like, am I sitting with beliefs that need to be relooked at, that need to be widened, that need to be expanded? Am I sitting with decisions? Do I have decisions, embedded decisions operating within me, my decisions or somebody else's decisions that I have chosen consciously or unconsciously to side with, that are not operating in my best interest? Maybe we're never operating in my best interest.
Right.
And am I open to changing that now? Replacing that now, elevating that now. As I use the word elevating, and I smiled when I saw it. When I saw it, I went, oh, yes, something has changed. Something has changed. Something in the wiring me has changed. I'm so excited. Something has changed. And why do I know that something has changed for the better? Because I bought it at Winners. I have this joy decoration that I don't put away after Christmas. I've left it out all year. And you can do the little switch and the lights will come in and the lights will light up joy. And I don't light up joy very often because I don't want to burn out the light bulbs, because I don't know how to replace the light bulbs. And I don't want joy to not light up anymore. So I don't really light it up much, but it's there. And so joy is in my house, in my dining room. The word joy, in that beautiful way that you could light up if I wanted to, is in my house in front of a mirror. And I like it. And I've designed things around it. And my son's put a few liquor bottles. And I say, you can't have all the liquor bottles that you want, only delicious ones. Only ones that look good can be here beside the joy sign, if you want to contribute to what's going on here. Anyway, why I say that is because the other day, as I was kind of decorating around the joy sign for Christmas, which I will do, I will add certain things to it. I'm kind of stepping back. I'm looking at the little gnome that I've put there. I'm looking at the little Christmas candies and things that I bought at, I don't know where I got them, the dollar store, I think, but beautiful, shiny little silvery red things. And I looked and I went, joy needs to be elevated. Joy needs to be elevated. And it was instantaneous. I'm looking at this, I'm backed up, I'm looking at my design going, joy needs to be elevated. And I did not miss what I was saying to myself. Mm-hmm. I was giving myself permission to elevate joy, to elevate how joy operates within me, to say yes to new versions of joy, new versions of what brings me joy, new upgrades in the technology, new upgrades in the software systems that deliver joy in and allow for joy to be part of my life. It's like, I got it. Like, I'm standing back. This decoration has been there for 3 years. For 3 years, I have not moved it. For 3 years, it has stayed there. Christmas all year round. Joy has been it has been absolutely something I wanted to have more of in my life. It has been there in front of that mirror for 3 years. And this is the first time I look back and say, joy needs to be elevated. Wow. And I didn't know how to elevate it. I didn't know, because I wanted it to be delicious. If it's going to look, I want it to look good. I don't know how to elevate it, but joy needs to be elevated. And maybe that's the problem in my consciousness, is I didn't know how to elevate it. I wanted it elevated beyond what has brought me joy in the past. I wanted it, but I didn't know how to elevate it. So it doesn't get elevated. And so I'm seeing my problem. I'm seeing my problem right in front of my eyes, in front of the mirror. And why is this relevant to everything that we started to talk about, facts and beliefs? Because it's beliefs.
Right.
It's my relationship with joy. It's my relationship with what's allowed for me in joy. It has to be that. It's a relationship of my beliefs, my decisions So I can sit there and go, have I made decisions like a Zeus making a decision, staff in the ground? Have I made decisions or allowed for decisions to be made on my behalf that are now staff in the ground moving out, that are interfering with how much joy I could have in my life? And I get a yes as I'm talking to you. Never ask that question. Say, well, that's not okay. Well, that's not okay with me. That's absolutely not okay with me. If there are decisions that I made at an earlier time in my life, all the way back to the womb, all the way back, or decisions that others made, or decisions that my soul made, or got involved with, and maybe this goes back into my soul's experience, then I'm just saying that's not okay. Mm-hmm. It's not okay that is rippling out as limiting my joy, cutting off my joy, saying you can have this much joy, or you can experience this joy, but not that joy. It's like, no, that's not okay. That's not okay. So that is a limiting thing. That's a limiting staff. I could go further. Was that me making? No, it wasn't me. Wasn't me making a decision? My world? No, but something that I was aligning with, controlling my joy, controlling what that could look like, controlling how much I could have, how much could flow through me. Well, that's not okay. So what do I want? I want to pull out those staffs. Maybe that was the best decision that somebody could make. Maybe that was the most protective decision that somebody could make at another time in history, our history. But it's not okay if it's limiting my joy and limiting what I can see as joy and know as joy within myself, or even find an alignment within myself. It's not okay. So I'm open to changing that, shifting that, moving that, and bringing my own divine light in to do that job, my own higher self in to do that job. So and allowing my ego to be there too. Like my ego is going to be holding that staff, my higher self's holding that divine intelligence of me, my soul is holding that staff, and we're moving that out because it's time. Is it one staff? Is it two staffs? Is it three? It's two. It's two staffs interfering and limiting my relationship with joy. And to me, limiting my relationship with joy is limiting my relationship with my spirit and with my fun. And I can say that out loud. I don't actually think I'm a very fun person. I think I've become a less fun person as I've aged. And my husband would gently just kind of go, well, dear, you're not being very good to yourself. No, I said, I'm being honest with myself. He said, yeah, but you've had a lot on your plate. You've a lot of things to worry about. And like, give me all the reasons for why he thinks it's okay that I'm just not as fun as I was. But he is recognizing that it's true. I'm not as fun as I was. And that concerns me because I like my life to be more fun. And how did it get this way? How did it get so serious? Mm-hmm. So
what happened?
overly responsible, so serious. So it's like, what happened? Because spirit links into playfulness. It links into fun and links into joy. I think it plugs into my soul, like they are one with each other. And yeah, so I wanted that. So I want that to change. I need that to change. Because when life gets so serious, then life gets more rigid. It gets more rigid, it gets more limiting and more inflexible. And then I guess my body then becomes more inflexible. My arteries become more rigid. I want to bring more joy into my life so that my arteries will be happier. So my veins will be happier. So my blood will be happier. My blood's boiling all the time. Then, I don't think that's great for my circulation.
And I think it's an issue that has been coming to a head for a lot of people right now. And most of the people are just miserable, but right? Like there's so much going on right now. how do you accept what's going on and still, you know, be in your heart and experience joy? I mean, that's, you know, we talked a little bit about, you know, for me, that magic last month. And then I talked about it again with Tom Campbell. And, you know, that spirit of Christmas, or that spirit of this time of year, that I don't know, I've always known it, even though, you know, I've had most disappointments around Christmas. But I can still connect in with that energy. And to me, that's just it's like wrapping a warm blanket, like my Santa secret tea. I mean, it's like wrapping this warm blanket around me, right? Because I can taste it. I can smell it. I feel that infinite joy. And so I try to do that every morning. Like every morning, I just sort of sit in it. If I'm not picking it up, then I like take my canister of Santa secret and I give it a good smell. It's like, oh yeah, that's it. But I mean, there's this spirit that we can all connect in with at all times of the year. It's more prevalent right now, I think, because of the kids. I think it's possibility. I think it's the joy of possibility that kids pick up on. And it's always there. It's just that it's really prevalent right now. So people could do that, but instead they're thinking about the wars and they're thinking about all the problems, and there's just, they get stuck, right? We're so many people right now are stuck, and it's like, how do we get people to just close their eyes and breathe in that joy? Like just what you're talking about, that just beautiful joy that just is there.
Well, so interesting, right? Until you have the limiting staffs in the ground where there's a certain amount of joy or maybe none.
Right.
Right. And how do you get somebody to breathe in joy that they don't even have a relationship with?
Right.
They don't even have I call it the cellular frequency memory for joy. Like you open up their book, their dictionary that defines their life, and you go to the J section and you look down and it's like, there's no joy. What do you mean there's no joy? There's no joy in my dictionary that defines my whole life. What do you mean that? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have the cellular frequency memory for joy. You don't compute it. You don't get it. It's not installed in your book of life. And you're going, how did that happen? That is not installed in my book of life. Well, it was until you were born. It was until you were born, and then you took in that whole experience of being born in a really traumatic way. And then just like any computer, it just really just got itself lost, and all the data got itself lost, but you did know joy for just this little bit of time until all the data got lost and spewed out on the day you were traumatized, on the day you were born, and now there's no joy there. You're like, oh, that's heartbreaking that I have no relationship with joy. And then your divine is kind of saying, well, yeah, you know, like you don't have a relationship with about 40 other things in the dictionary too that were lost that day too. Would you like those reinstalled? And it's literally about reinstalling what got lost. Like reinstalling what got lost. Well, how can you reinstall what got lost when you don't even know, number one, that something got lost, and you didn't even know that all you needed to do was intend that it be reinstalled, that it could be that simple.
Yeah.
Because the unconscious mind is an ever expanding mind. It's like the universe. So it's like, you just like, oh, okay, let's just make a space in the ever expanding mind of the unconscious and let it all be reinstalled. Because you can always make space at the unconscious level for anything you want to make space for. So yeah, it's an interesting little tangent I went off on, but it felt right to say. It's like, yeah, sure. Let's all meditate on that. Let's explore that. Let's allow for that. Unless you don't have any concept of what that means.
Right.
Because you just don't even get it.
Right.
And it's an interesting thing to say, because sometimes people will just say that out loud. They'll say out loud, I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't compute that. And we don't take that seriously. We don't even really listen to ourselves that we're being that honest with somebody. I don't get it. Mm-hmm. I don't compute happiness. I don't get it. Like I don't work in balance. I don't work in balance. And you might go, what do you mean you don't work in balance? Let's explore that. What do you mean you don't? Let's stop and explore that. What do you mean that you don't? Well, I don't know. I just know that I don't work in balance. And then we go and just look that up and we kind of go, well, let's go investigate that. Let's just start with your cellular frequency memory, your dictionary of your life. Let's just go to the B's and see if you even have balance. Oh my God, balance isn't there. Well, can we now allow for the cellular frequency memory for balance to be installed? Because maybe it's not even reinstalled, because maybe there's been no balance for anybody in the life, for anybody that's existed in your life and your family side and your father's side for like thousands of years. And everybody's behaved in these out of balance ways and has never been able to find balance. And they've all been at the extremes. And you're the first child, like you're the game changer child that's seeing this, that's becoming aware of this. And not only are you becoming aware of this, you're aware of how easily this can be rectified through intention, through quantum physics, intention being incredibly powerful. That, okay, I didn't know it. I didn't know it. We've never known it. For the hundreds of thousands of years, we've never known it. And just because for hundreds of thousands of years we've never known it, doesn't mean I can't know it now. Doesn't mean I can't correct it now that I've become aware of it.
You know, I keep, when you were talking about joy, the thing that I kept seeing, and even your face, I kept thinking about the movie Disney's Pixar Inside Out.
Oh, yes. I love that movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Who has these emotions and how they get changed and how they morph and stuff. But that's what I kept seeing. I kept seeing your face. I'm going, what was that movie called? Oh, right. It finally clicked in, but it's like. I
love that movie.
Right?
I love that movie. In fact, I should go back and watch that in the holidays. I absolutely love that movie.
Right.
I watched the other one that they did, which was the one about soul, and that one didn't do as much for me at all as the one you're speaking about did. In fact, if anybody's listening to this, if we have even 10 viewers and you've never seen, there's even 10 people that are listening to this and you've never seen the movie Inside Out, please take a look at this, because it is really, there's just so much truth and so much understanding that is landed in a really gentle, lovely way in that movie.
Yeah.
About us and our relationship with emotions. So yeah.
Yeah. Is there a 2 coming out though? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Is there a 2 coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going to be so excited. When's that coming out?
Next year.
Oh, so happy. I'm so happy it did so well that they put out a number 2. I am so happy. We need more help. Humanity needs more help. Delivered in this gentle, beautiful cartoon way. I am so happy. Like, I applaud you, Disney. Thank you. I hope you're doing as good a job with that one as you did with the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So excited to hear that. Yeah. So excited.
The other thing I notice is that when you get very excited, I don't know, I wish people could see, you have these lights that are going diagonal, different direction than the lights that are on the ceiling. They're above you. But then when you get really excited, the lights change. And like there's different colors that are coming out. It's like, whoa.
Excellent. Well, that would be you seeing that, which is great. I'm really happy. Well, you know what? I'm happy to hear you say that today, because this talk that David Martin brought forward, even though it was a troublesome talk,
very,
like it really was, there was a lot of stuff that he was bringing forward in this talk that was difficult to hear.
Not a lot of joy.
No, but the couple of things that I pulled out that I really centered in on just have brought me into some levels of excited to have my brain operating like this, investigating this, being in the philosophy of this. My father never liked philosophy because there weren't answers. Like he just wanted definitive answers, right? Rather than like this round and round, more feminine way to operate, going round and round and round, exploring. But That's what I was doing. I was doing that round and round, exploring of that concept of fact cannot override or overwhelm a belief. If that belief just wants to stay, if that person, he didn't say this, I'm saying this, if this person absolutely just wants to be where they are, stay where they are, anchor in where they are, say, this is it, I know everything. I know everything there is to know on this topic. The arrogance of that. I know everything there is to know on this topic. Or just wants to stay in that belief, not because they want to be arrogant, but because they've had enough, because they are so overwhelmed, because there's just too much information coming at them. It's like, no, I can't deal with any more information. I can't deal with any more facts. No, I'm just staying here. I'm just staying here because I just need to get some work done. I need to go grocery shopping. I need to go Christmas shopping. I know I'm just staying here. I'm just staying here where I can feel certain about something, right? Certain about something. Rather than another moment of uncertainty, I'm just going to stay. And I think that's kind of some of what's happening. I'm just going to stay here in my belief where I can just stay in my own individual certainty about something because everything else in my world is just so frickin' uncertain. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know where my next paycheck's coming from. I don't know where my next dollar's coming from. I don't know how much the eggs are going to cost when I go to the grocery store today. I have no idea what that lettuce is going to cost. Oh, speaking of the lettuce, I actually, let me tell you, I actually saw the most atrocious thing the other day. I couldn't even believe it. You know how you can buy those packages of 3 of the romaine lettuces all put together in the package, like the Andy package or whatever it is?
Yeah.
I go and I look at one and I could not believe it. It was still at the same price in the grocery store. So like the $5.99 price or whatever the price was. By the way, I was so happy when so many people left those romaine lettuces on the shelves when they were $9.99 in those packages. They left them there to rot. I am so happy that all these people left them there to rot and said, that's it. We're not buying that. Right. And they just rotted because I absolutely do not believe that those should have ever been priced at $9.99, and I think somebody was trying to take advantage of something. But anyway, let's go back to this romaine lettuce store. So I'm going and I'm looking at this, and for the first time ever, I'm seeing 2 in a package, not 3. And the package is now shrunk. And I'm looking going, well, actually, I can say this, I think, because nobody said to me what was in my head. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's exactly what was in my head. Are you fucking kidding me? And I'm looking at 2 romaine instead of 3. Now, I will say, I have been checking this because this was, I think, 2 weeks ago, and I think it was at Walmart, actually. But I've been checking this. No, it wasn't. It was at Fresco. And I've been checking this ever since, and I've never seen it again. I've never seen 2 in a package.
I've only seen them at certain places. I think Walmart is one of the places. It's like the places, whatever places that try to make it cheaper, they'll have the 2 instead of the 3. I've seen 6.
But it wasn't cheaper.
Oh,
it wasn't cheaper. It was $5.99 and it wasn't cheaper.
Like, are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. So that's what made that. I just went, are you freaking kidding me?
Wow.
Like nobody's going to tell me that the gas has gone up that much, that the wages have gone up that much, that it would justify a whole lettuce now coming out of that package. I'm just nonplussed.
Well, as much as I love Loblaws, and I do because of their program, their points program, because there's nothing that can compete with it. I mean, what did they say? Their earnings came out and they were like in the billions last year. Like, how is that okay? You're charging us and saying you can't, like, you're only doing what you have to do, but yet they're making more now than they ever did before. How is that okay?
Right. Right. How is that okay?
How is that okay?
How is that okay? And actually, don't even get me started with Loblaws, because then we could talk about the Butterball hot dogs, where Loblaws has the most expensive price on those Butterball hot dogs, and I know because I know where the cheapest price is. And by the way, the cheapest price right now, the cheapest price is at Metro, and they have a sale on for $3.99 for that package, which I'm going to go out and buy some after I finish this.
Wow!
But normally they are at $4.49.
Okay.
And Loblaws has gone as high as $7.29.
No, I know.
For the same package. Right? Almost double the price. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's just not flying with me when I see stuff like that. And there are certain things that I just watch all the time. Now, Loblaws has brought their package price down for those particular Butterball hot dogs to a $5.49 price, but that's the lowest price I've ever seen for them. Still $1 more than the Metro price or the Sobeys price. And so you just sit there and go, no. But when I saw that day, the first time I saw that, $7.29 for that same package of hot dogs that I could go right to Metro and buy for $4.49, I went, you are gouging people.
Yeah. And it's apparently okay. Like the prices have just gone ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's not okay because I don't personally care about the points program. I mean, it's nice, but yeah, I still think the points program that they now have, that they took over from Shoppers Drug Mart, isn't anywhere close to what it was when it was owned by Shoppers Drug Mart alone, which was a delicious points program. So whatever they're doing now, it is a lesser program to what it was when it was first designed by Shoppers Drug Mart, in my opinion. And I think I have a pretty good opinion on that. And yeah, I'm not letting the points program influence my world, because I see too many times where the Loblaws price for things is just more. It's just more. And okay, so I got some points for that. But what was the cost for the points for that? That and the fact that I had to walk a football field in my neighborhood to get the 3 things that I wanted, which were 2 ends. But anyway, I guess the exercise is supposed to be good for me, but
there you go.
Anyway, I don't, okay, but we can go to belief, right? We can go to belief. Like if we're going to wrap this in a nice package that makes it relevant for today, so we're not just wandering off in these conversations, which we did for a moment or two with my romaine lettuce piece, which I can't remember how I got there in the first place. But if I bring it back to beliefs, I will tell you, after I saw that $7.29 price, I never forgot it. It embedded in my brain. Versus the $4.49 price, which now is a $4.99 price regularly at Metro. Once I saw that, I went, you are gouging people. Like, that's it. Like, there's my belief. And then when I saw a couple of other things that I absolutely knew the price of it at one store, and then I saw it like $1, $2, $2.50 more in the Loblaw store. Again, that allowed me to go, yep, I'm right. You're gouging people. Yep, I'm right. You're gouging people. So how many of the, yep, I'm right. You're gouging people, my proof that you're gouging people, did I install before I really went, you know what? I'm right. I'm right. Loblaws is gouging people. They are gouging people. They are literally taking money out of people's pockets. And I don't know, I guess it's going to the shareholders, but this is not right. And so it impacted my buying, is my point. Didn't matter about the points program. It impacted my buying. It literally said, I don't know what else I'm not aware of that Loblaws is increasing the money of by 50 cents or 75 cents or quarter or whatever that is. But I've made my decision. My belief is now firmly implanted in my consciousness. And I have facts to line that up that my eyeballs saw. So my facts on this, so I'm not changing my mind. Now, it was also interesting that I had to learn this. I was buying evergreens the other day, and I knew I was late to the game because we had been in Atlanta, and so I knew I was late to the game, but I also knew it was a good time to put the evergreens into the pots. And so now I'm kind of like, my husband says, well, just go around the corner to Loblaws. What was my immediate response? I'm not going to Loblaws. They gouge people. And besides that, I don't need to support the corporate bureaucracy, shareholder, whatever. I'm going to go to my East End ladies down on Queen Street. I'm going to support them. And I know they'll have something, and I know it's probably going to be a few dollars more expensive, but that's what I'm going to do. And off I went in my car. And I heard a voice, which would be a higher self voice, say to me, would you be interested in releasing yourself from your own prejudice toward Loblaws if you'd be interested, so this is what's coming in, if you'd be interested in releasing yourself from your own prejudice toward Loblaws, it would be a good choice to follow your husband's advice and go there. So, and it was a gentle message. It just comes in a very gentle way. So I went, okay, all right then. Yep, I am. I'm prejudiced toward Loblaws. I am. Absolutely. I could own that. And so I went to drive to the Loblaws Garden Center, and there was next to nothing left at the garden center. They had a few Christmas trees that were tiny. They were like 5 feet or 4 feet or something. Like literally they cleaned out. And the woman said they'd sold like 1,600 trees in the last week and a half. Whoa. She said people must be listening to the media and stuff talking about how people aren't going to get Christmas trees and blah, 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 because she's never seen anything like this. Anyway, so, but they did have the evergreens that you could put in the pots and blah, blah, blah. And they were all half price. So I was able to pick up all the evergreens. Instead of paying $14 for one of the packages, they were $7. And so I picked up I didn't pick up any more than I needed. I didn't pick up, oh my God, because they're all live. Right. So I just picked up what I thought I needed, and I came back about an hour or so later and picked up 3 more packages. But that was huge savings. Yeah. Like that was a huge savings. Now, that was a fact. That was a huge savings. And that's absolutely less money than I would have spent going to my East End garden people to buy those. Sure. I'm still going down to my East End garden people to support them and buy some other things from them. Why? Admittedly, because I feel guilty. I feel guilty that I'm not, well, that and the fact that I like to support them. So it's, I feel guilty and I want to support them. So both things. I want to support them and I feel guilty that I haven't actually spent money there and that I spent the money here at Loblaws. But there are some things that I need and some things that Loblaws didn't have, and I'm going to go see if they have those. So inspired from guilt, but mostly inspired by a desire to support them, these lovely older women, I will do that at a different time. But has that changed my mind? Like, to me, these are facts. These are facts. These are facts. It's a fact that Loblaws dared to charge that price for those turkey dogs. It's a fact that they dared to charge that price that day, which was $2 more expensive than this other place. And it's a fact that they dared to charge this price on these are facts. So are those facts going to override my belief that the other fact is they just gave me that 50% deal on that evergreen? Is that fact that they gave me that 50% deal on those evergreens going to override my belief that they gouge people? No. Now, how many more times am I going to have to see Loblaws giving me really good deals, like 50% off deals? How many times am I going to have to see Loblaws giving me those kind of deals before I'm going to allow myself to override my belief that they gouge people? And the answer is undetermined. Mm-hmm. As many as I need to be able to allow for that, which might be never. Never will I allow for that belief that Loblaws gouges people to ever be undone. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Because it protects me, potentially, from being the fool, from being foolish. So then you'd say, well, why is that so important, Tracy? Well, because my dad didn't like foolish. Mm. He didn't like foolishness, meaning fun, play. He didn't like foolishness. He didn't like people who were fools. So maybe I'm not going to override that belief. Maybe I'm never going to allow that to change, because that would just be foolish to allow that company the ability to take you for a ride again, to not let you be so uber vigilant on what it is that, does that make sense?
It does.
And so it could be exactly one of the reasons why people, like, as I'm just talking personally in my own life, it could be exactly why people don't ever allow that belief to change because they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want that to happen again. They don't want to be taken for a ride again. They don't want to be treated like a fool. They don't want to be taken advantage of. So at least if I continue to hold Loblaws this way, I don't think I'm ever going to feel taken advantage of. Maybe that's my protection from ever feeling that way again or feeling screwed by them because it just makes me hypervigilant to all the pricing.
Right.
And if I choose to buy something for that more expensive price, it's because I chose to. I know you're screwing around with me, but I don't want to go all the way over here and I don't have time to go over here. So now this is my choice. So you're not duping me. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly who you are as a company. And so in this particular occasion, I am choosing by my own free will to pay that $13.99 for that frickin' bag of apples. I'm choosing to do that because when I loved myself enough, I just wanted to get home.
Right.
I just wanted to get home. I didn't want to drive around going to this place or this place to get that better deal for $2 because when I loved myself enough and liked myself enough, I decided I'm going to choose to pay this exorbitant price for this and then be grateful for the fact that they're here and so close to home so that I can get back to make the dinner and see my husband or be with my son. It's interesting, right? It's interesting just to, so these are the kinds of things that I've been doing is really kind of looking at the psychology of this, looking at the why we hold on to this. Why do I, like not we, not out there. Why am I doing this? Why am I continuing to do this? Why is this such a right choice for me? Why, when this company gave me this really good deal, would I not change my mind? Would I not give them a break? Would I not just say, let's just cancel all of those beliefs and let's just start again? So I started to look at that. So, okay, so now I'm going to put you on the hot spot.
Okay.
So now I've confessed my psychosis when it comes to Loblaws and my belief about what I'm believing about that particular company and where I was willing to listen to my higher self and really just be able to hear. It didn't feel like a criticism to hear that concept of I'm prejudiced when it comes to Loblaws. And then to allow myself to move beyond my prejudice and to actually move in the direction that my husband was suggesting, to follow his advice and go that route and actually end up getting a really good deal.
Right.
So putting you on the hot spot.
Okay.
Do you have a belief? Do you have a belief that you can think of that you're holding on to about anything? About yourself?
Sure. While you were talking about all of that, it's interesting because I grew up with a mom who grew up in wartime. So for her, everything has to be a sale. Because everything was always a sale. Only ever buy something if it's on sale. Somehow my sister lost that. She never got that gene. But me, when I would go, I do think their program's excellent. I think I save up my points every year so that at Black Friday, I can go to Shoppers and I can buy almost everybody their Christmas gift on points. Because they have an amazing thing where you spend $250 on points, you get $400 in product.
Right.
That's a great deal. I went to one store, I got over $500 worth of stuff, and I spent $34. Right? So to me, they have a great program. But when I hear what you say about, like, I don't buy the things when they're not on sale. If I don't get points or they're not on sale, unless it's something I really, really need, I will wait. So to me, it's like, I have to wait until I can do this. I have to wait until it makes sense to do that.
Yeah.
And that's my belief, is that I have to wait. If I have to go without, I go without because I'm in a little area. So you're in the beaches, but you're a little bit in the north of the beaches. So you're really close to all of the bigger stores. I have two little stores. One's now called the Independent Grocer, and the other one is Foodland.
Right.
Right. So I have two little stores, and a great little veggie and fruit stand store, and like there are other stuff.
Love that store, by the way, Carload.
Carload, yeah. Great store. So, but that's what I do. I kind of, my thing is I have to wait. I have to wait until I can't. I mean, there are some things that I, like you, is like, oh my goodness, I can just do this because this is something I truly want. And it's okay.
Actually, for me, it was that I truly need.
Ah.
So that $13 bag of apples or something was, I need that.
Okay.
Like for, my whole body needs that.
Mm.
So it wasn't I want. It was actually what I really felt at that particular time was a need.
Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting what you bring up about the I can wait.
I can wait.
I can wait. And you know what? And how many people don't have an operating system that allow for that? Just to wait. Patience and to wait for what it is that you want that you can't have now. You can have it because it will go on sale, but you can't have it now.
Right.
So what will you do while you wait? And what will you eat while you wait? And what will how's life going to go while you wait? But
right.
Yeah, it's that little children's book that I never wrote. The one for patience.
Mm.
Like, what will I do while I wait? Because I have to wait for some things. And I think that, your little cat just came out from behind your head. That was so cute.
We both noticed at the same time.
Just peeks out. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're just peeking out. Did you like that little book that I never wrote? It just peeks out. Anyway, but it was the book on patience. What will I do while I wait?
Interesting.
Because versus the Veruca mentality. So that's the Willy Wonka Veruca mentality. So when my son, and he'd probably be horrified that I'm actually saying this out loud in public. But when he was younger, when he was being the I want it now child, no, I want it now. When he's throwing his little tantrum, he didn't really throw tantrums so much, but when he was just like, no, I want it now. I want it. It was like, okay, Veruca. And that was a code word for step back, step down. You are out of control. You're going to get sent down the wood chipper. But in the Willy Wonka movie, in the original movie, that character Veruca, she was a spoiled, rotten little brat who got everything that she wanted now, and her father would give her everything that she wanted now. So she wanted that golden egg, and she ended up going down the incinerator after the golden egg, and we never saw her again in the movie. Right. And so that was my, sentence to my son to kind of say, step back. You are pissing me off. We're not going to yell about this. You're out of control. You need to take a breath. You are asking too much, or you're asking too much and you're being too insistent of the timeline. And that was what was inspiring the concept of the little children's book on patience. What will we do while we wait? So you have the operating system for waiting.
I do.
And I don't think that's such a bad idea. I think...
but I might grab things that I don't need because they're on sale.
Well, so there's the piece, right?
Yeah.
So...
Or there are points. I can get points for this. I should get this.
Yeah, because I can get points for this.
Right.
I can buy 2 of those because I can get points for this and double points for this. Yeah, well, now you're being contaminated by their game.
Right.
And by the fact that, also this Black Friday thing, like I didn't even know about this Black Friday thing. What I would do is I would save the points for a year, and then I'd go to the Shoppers Drug Mart that did sell the really expensive foundation. My son's a drag queen, right? So he's very picky about this one foundation, this Dior foundation. And I could buy it there at that one specific Shoppers Drug Mart. And so that very specific foundation that's like $100, some ridiculous price, I could then use points and it would end up costing me 20.
Right.
And that would be something that would be in a stocking. And that was saving up my points for an entire year just to get a price off on that one product.
Yes.
But when Shoppers Drug Mart was just Shoppers Drug Mart and wasn't being interfered with by Loblaws, it was easier to accumulate the points. And in my opinion, it was easier to accumulate the points with the things that I was buying.
Right. See, with me, I wait. I don't go to Shoppers unless they have a points event where you get extra points if you go to a certain amount. And then I only usually ever use them if it's a redemption points day.
Yeah. So it's
like they have several redemption points day. I think now there's even like one a month, but the one on Black Friday, and now it's not just Black Friday. Now it's like a 5-day event. You get this special deal, and it's always the same deal. And it's like, well, it's worth it.
Well, you're going to have to let me know. You
Okay.
have to keep me abreast of that and let me know. But yeah, to me, it's like that you are in their game now.
I am definitely in their game.
You're definitely in their game now, which means that leaves it easier for them to put 50 cents on this amount of whatever and a quarter on this, and because you're in the game.
Oh yeah.
And they know that they've got you in the game now.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to say after Loblaws took over all of this and took over the points program for Shoppers Drug Mart, I had my belief because I looked at what was going on and I just went, nope, this is not as good a deal anymore. This points program is not as good a deal anymore. So I just didn't play the game. I felt kind of gypped and betrayed. So I just kind of went, I'm not interested in playing your game. Because you took this over from a perfectly lovely company, and then you tarnished it. You put your name on it, and then you kind of screwed around with it. And it's just not as delicious. I love that word delicious these days. It's just not as delicious as it was. And you're just not as good a company. So So again, belief. From the little facts that I had that I could see with my eyes, and that I could hear with my ears, whether my ears were tainted or filtered with something, my eyes were filtered with something. It's what I saw, what I noticed, what I took in. And so if you took in a completely different story, right? Because you didn't have filters. You didn't have filters on your eyes, your ears, your touch, what you reached out for, where I did. Then you had a completely different experience and never decided that about Loblaws, never decided that about the point system being taken over. And so you're just right in that game. And so they can actually take advantage of you.
Oh, for sure.
More than they can take advantage of me.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's interesting, and maybe you do too. I have a finely tuned operating system for being manipulated. I do not like being manipulated. I am uber sensitive to it. Like uber sensitive to the bad salesman tone, like uber sensitive to all of that. I don't know where that landed. I don't know what happened in my life where that became really it's almost like a hypervigilance around it. It's like, I see you. I see exactly what you're doing. I'm not surprised that I haven't kind of got myself involved in that game, but it's interesting. We've gone some really interesting places today. I wouldn't.
But when we bring it back to beliefs, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's all about what we believe. Yeah.
And the facts that won't change it.
Yeah.
Until we allow for it. Until we say, okay, cancel. All right. I'm just going to let it be something different. I'm going to recognize these people or these companies have elevated themselves. They've changed and I'm going to give them another chance to show me that they're ethical, to show, whatever it is. But it's also about us giving us another chance, right? What are the beliefs and I think it's a great way to end today. Like, what are the beliefs that we're believing about ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
And that we're deeply believing about ourselves? And can we allow for those beliefs to just be canceled? Can we allow for those beliefs to be elevated? Can we allow for those beliefs to be changed? Can we allow for what we believed about ourselves at 6? Was having this discussion with a client. the client that saw things a certain way, believed things about themselves, believed because of the schools that they were put into when they were younger, put into a French English school at a very early age where they just weren't getting it because they were being traumatized by a move across the ocean. And in being traumatized by that move, they're now landing in a school that's a French like school and they just don't get it. And they're having all of these problems with the school and all of these problems with learning. And then it's not until 2 or 3 years later that they land in a choir. They land in a choir and somebody says, "Oh, you're so good at this. You're so good at music. You're so good at singing." And the little kid is like, "Oh, I'm good at something. I'm good at something." So pleased with themselves that they're good at something. Well, how did that happen? Because they were in this school, traumatized, not able to learn, not open to learning, brain discombobulated from the move, not learning easily in 2 different languages, get all sorts of ideas about themselves by the time they're 6, and then have this idea that the only thing that they're really good at is music. Like the only thing, like that's the problem of the belief. The only thing that they're good at is music. And they're now re-looking at this and they're 61. They're 61 years old and they're going back to revisit that child and really feeling an incredible compassion for the child that was put in that traumatizing situation, landed in a school that they should have never been put in, having dealt with all of the craziness of that school, including what they called corporal punishment in that school. And then you're just kind of, and that person has just got so much compassion, not judgment, for who they were in the past and what went on. And they're absolutely willing to bring in new ideas about themselves and about, what else they might be good at other than music. And yeah, it's a fascinating thing to watch. And it really is an uprooting and a allowing of a whole change in the belief systems that anchored in at that time. To say, well, I didn't know enough about me to be able to say that about me. I just hadn't seen enough. I didn't know enough. I thought I knew enough. I thought I'd suffered enough to say this about myself. But I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my mind about me. I'm changing my mind about what's possible for me. I'm changing my mind. I'm unlocking myself from those earlier ideas. So I love that we're ending today not on Loblaws.
Yeah.
And I could say poor Loblaws. Nah, I'm not going to say that.
No, because they're not poor.
No, they're not poor, and they're benefiting from some. But I'm glad that we're ending it on this because I think it's good to end it on a personal note. So yeah, interesting.
And I would just add that for me, it's about going into my heart and saying, what can I change from my heart?
Nice.
That's, yeah.
Nice.
Every time I hear, like-minded, I always say, no, like-hearted.
Nice. Yeah, the container for your soul.
Right.
So that you can have an embodied soul experience. So I love you ending with that.
There you go. All right. You've been
cool.
listening to News for the Heart with Tracy McBurney. We have been getting to the heart of what matters. Wow. It's been a fascinating show about beliefs. Beliefs, truths. I think it's more about facts.
And change and a willingness to change.
There you go. We'll be back next year. Woo! So
okay.
Invite everybody to have a wonderful holiday season. And I have a feeling that 2024 is going to be a better year.
Okay.
So thank you.
Fingers crossed. Okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yes.
Bye.
Next year.